What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Pure Evil MMA. Once again, I'm joined by a very special guest. We have Dan Magnus on the phone, who's a two-time former world kickboxing champion. He was part of the WCW and also part of the WWF. So we have a lot to discuss. He's also the husband of G.L.O.W's Roxy Astors. So I'm so excited for this interview. You know, your whole family is pretty much involved in the combat scene. Even your son, who's he was chief photographer for the UFC for a while. So we're going to jump into all that. But first things first, how's your day going?
It's been busy. I used to be an ex-cop in New York, and we had some vagrants come into our building, and they were in the building next door yesterday. And the cops came fast. We got 3 big, huge arrests because they had huge warrants. The 2 got away. Well, those 2 came back, and police never showed. So they couldn't hold them here.
Yeah, my audience knows that. You know, I just told you a little bit of something about what happened to me similar. And I've told my audience before, you know, the cops are just kind of ridiculous when it takes longer than 10 minutes and you have an emergency. It should never take that long for police to arrive. And you're a former cop, so that puts you in a very weird position, huh?
Well, they go into the thing of how dangerous it is. And I said to them, they go, well, they're just being vagrants. I go, yeah, but you arrested 3 of them yesterday, and one had a major warrant for armed robbery and assault, and the other 2 had warrants. So these 2 got away. So it isn't just vagrancy, but you know, it must be lunchtime, so they must be busy.
What are these buildings that you own?
No, these are buildings we live in. We rent an apartment. I rent I have the whole 4th floor.
All right, so
we have sky captains, so they can look inside our house, you know, and see what's in there. So, you know, oh great, that's all I need is them to come and rob me.
Yeah, it's not fun to not feel comfortable in your own home.
Yeah.
But let's jump into a little.
God forbid if we shoot them.
Yeah, as long as they don't come in your house, they'll be pretty safe, I guess.
Yeah.
But, you know, let's move forward with what we have on the table here with you. You have such an exciting story. And one thing I want to jump into, the meat and potatoes of things, that you're a 2-time former world kickboxing champion who's actually had a comeback after open heart surgery, the only person on the planet to do so. So what was it? What was that like? Can you bring us through that story?
Well, in 1983, I was in a car accident and broke my ribs, and one of my ribs tore my aortic valve. So I taught for the government, so they were like, they sent me to the National Institute of Health. Now, this is in the 80s. And after they did tests, they said, you had a rip in your heart, probably from the broken ribs. So we got to go in there, and we can fix it. We can stitch the valve back to your heart. And all I said to them, because I just won the title, I said, well, when can I fight again? They go, probably never. I'm like, that's not going to happen. I'm going to fight again. And basically, I was causing such a stir. They said to me, well, we'll see. Let's just get the surgery done first. So they stitched my aortic valve back to my heart, and I started training. And 2 of the doctors started taking martial arts lessons from me. And they saw what shape I was getting into. The organization I was champion of stripped me of my title when they heard I had the heart surgery because they thought I'd never come back. And there's a clause in my contract saying if you're injured, you have a year before you have to defend the title. If you can't defend it within that year, you vacate it.
I like that idea, honestly.
So I was training, and I brought the thing to court, and I fought the day before it expired in Atlantic City and won my title back.
Oh, wow. How about that?
Well, the funny thing was the Jersey State Commission first said no, and my doctors that were federal, they worked for the federal government, said, well, we're allowing him to fight. And the Jersey did the dumbest thing. They said, well, we'll fly you on our expense with the surgical team to sit there at ringside. So they got free ringside tickets, hotels, and everything. And I remember the head surgeon, his name was Dr. Glass, and he went, what do they think we're going to do? Is heart surgery in the ring? It was really, but I said, hey, what are you complaining about? You got free, we were at the Atlantis Hotel. What are you worried about? You got room and, you know, ringside tickets.
And you know what?
So that was a big thing.
This happens a lot in the sports industry. It just happened real recently. If you know, people want to talk about Dominic Cruz. You know, Dominic Cruz tore his ACL. He was out for a while, almost 2 years. They wanted to strip him of the title, and he made a comeback and won the title back from TJ Dillashaw. I mean, it's such an inspiring thing when you hear somebody down on their luck, because we all visit that place time to time where we just think it's all done for. And, you know, what did that feeling feel like stepping back into the ring before the fight started?
Well, all I cared about was they took the title. I went in as the contender. I fought the guy who fought and won the title. So I wasn't defending the title. I was trying to regain it back, which I did. Which, you know, to me, I felt fine. You know, when I had my heart ripped, I had no effects. I was not short of breath. I wasn't anything really. So basically, I almost didn't believe they said I had a rip until they actually showed me. And all they kept saying to him is, "When can I come back? When can I come back?" And he said, "You're driving us crazy."
You got to stay persistent.
You know, go ahead.
I said you got to stay persistent when you're chasing your dreams.
Yeah. And then 10 years later, my valve ripped again. And they said, now we can't fix it. So we're going to have to change it. So they put a St. Jude's mechanical valve in my heart. It's a metal valve. And they had to put me on the blood thinner Coumadin. And I retired from fighting, but I thought, you know what? I want to do something. So I did a 60-round exhibition fight to show that my heart was fine.
That'll prove it. That'll prove it.
I was working with WCW at the time. And the last 10 rounds were with wrestlers who were scared to death I was going to kill them.
Yeah.
It just, the whole thing is, look, if you have a dream and you want it, there's a will, there's a way. People give up way too easy.
And, you know, it's kind of cool that even though you made your comeback and you had that moment, unfortunately you had to, you know, step outside and prove everyone wrong, even though you already won your title back. You know, you're trying to prove everybody a little something. And then you actually open up your own wrestling organization down the road, correct?
Right. I was in Denver, Colorado, and people there, there was little wrestling organizations there. And I didn't want to open a wrestling organization. I didn't want to really run wrestling shows because I worked, I was friends with Brian Adams. I lived in Hawaii. We owned the G.L.O.W gym together. And he went, Dan, he went time left for 3 weeks to go to Japan. And to keep an eye on my wrestlers for me so they still work out and all that. And I did, but I saw that they were killing themselves in the ring. So I put a crash pad in the ring and said, practice the bumps on knees so at least you know how to do them right because you're all hurting yourself. Well, for 3 weeks I had them bumping like they never bumped before. When Brian came back, he says, you're just making them sissies. I'm like, but they can do it without the pads now and not hurt themselves.
Yeah, that's
so when I went to Denver, I said, you know what, I'm opening up my own wrestling school, and I called it Slam City.
Slam City, I love that.
We put an ad in the paper, and I wasn't looking for professional wrestlers to get in the WWE. I was looking for dreamers that always loved wrestling, and if they wanted to try their dream, come to us. Well, it exploded because the Washington Post did an article and put us on the front page, and we got slammed.
Was it kind of
people that? I'm sorry?
Was it kind of weird when you were at the guy's gym helping train his partners? When he came back, did he feel some type of way about that? Like, did you guys get into a fight or?
Oh, well, we didn't get into a fight because we were good friends, but he just told me I was whipping them out. And I'm like, Brian, they're paying you $3,000 to learn how to wrestle. See, he trained in Japan. If you've ever been there, I've been to Japan. They kill you in Japan. There's a story of Hulk Hogan when he was training for wrestling, went to Japan to learn how to wrestle from Antonio Inoki. And Inoki broke his ankle on the first day on purpose.
Wow.
To see if Hogan had what it takes to come back. 8 weeks later, Hogan walked in after his ankle was healed and said, I want to be a wrestler. And Inoki said, now you will be a wrestler. But that was the mindset back then. The mindset of today is, even back when I had it in the late 90s, is different. The internet was starting. Kayfabe was dead. When I worked Ohio Valley Wrestling, Jim Cornette, who still thinks he's in the 70s, was like, we got to keep kayfabe. They know more about us than we know about us. I'm like, kayfabe is dead. You can go onto any site now and they know the storyline before we even know the storyline. In fact, I think our writers or the writers of WWE get the storylines from the fans.
You know what? Aoki, he actually did the first MMA match in history with Muhammad Ali.
With Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, so that definitely opened up some doors.
Yeah, he wasn't stupid, though. He said, I'm going to sit on my butt and kick him in the legs.
I mean, you know what? Getting back to what you were saying about, helping your friend's gym and trying to make safer practices, I feel like that's still an ongoing issue this day and age in MMA. We see it at a whole bunch of gyms around, the MMA scene. And it's very sad when you see these fighters get into later years and they're about to make a comeback, but then they get injured again. It's just so frustrating. There's really no way around it besides, practicing a little bit safer, but you also have to prepare for the madness when you walk into the ring.
Yeah, well, in California, they have MMA schools, and every martial arts school has a boxing ring, and there's a lot of boxing schools around here. And if you go in there with no experience, you're like fresh meat to the other boxers. They throw you in the ring right away to see if you have what it takes. And I'm like, why don't you train them first? Have them learn for the first 6 months to punch, kick, do this stuff so they have technique, and then put them in the ring. Because everybody's brave till they get punched in the nose. But are you going to punch a guy in the nose who has no experience, and you put him in with a guy who has a ton of experience? That's just bullying.
Yeah,
That kid isn't going to survive.
And obviously,
yeah.
Obviously the kid's not going to survive, but I feel like a lot of gyms do that to kind of prove what they're in for. To if you come back, then you're done.
It was done to me. Jeff Smith and Bill Wallace, Bill Superfoot Wallace, in 1976. I met him in Atlanta, told him I wanted to be a kickboxer, and they saw me as fresh meat. They come to D.C. I drove there, and for 1 week, all I did was get my ass kicked by these two guys and other fighters that one night I thought my brainstem came loose.
Ooh.
I was going to go to the hospital. After the 7th day, Jeff Smith said, I've never seen a guy with so much heart and determination. You want a job with us teaching karate here while you're training? And then I moved to D.C. and became a kickboxer.
It's brutal when...
But that doesn't work anymore.
It's brutal when you go in there and you're sparring with guys that do dirty shots or hit extra hard because you're not getting paid for this. You're paying the gym and you want to make it to the ring to get paid. And if you're not able to do that, then what the hell? We see this with a lot of fighters where they're like, that guy, he's a dirty sparrer. And we've seen footage on it. And you know what? That can really screw up people's careers. It happens to Chris Holdsworth, who won the Ultimate Fighter Ronda Rousey season. He had to get pulled out because one of his partners really injured him with a cheap shot. It's sad.
It happens in everything, in boxing, kickboxing, MMA, because they're trained, because most of the places that are owned by these facilities, people that own them, are ex-fighters. And they went through that, and they're not businessmen. I owned 5 martial arts schools, and we did extremely well that I sold them off, and I still get resilient money from them. But I taught them that, no one spars for 6 months till they're trained. And then it's really light. And then when we see there's someone that has a chance to be a fighter, we'll pull him aside and talk to him. And then we'll make the workouts a little bit harder. But we don't throw them to the wolves. But, it seems that the old ways, some people are still running it the old way. Technology is taking over the world, but some things they still want it to go back to like 1950, 60, 70, and 80.
Well, we're hearing it.
Way of thinking.
We're hearing more fighters now saying that they're not doing as hard sparring as they used to back in the days with, the no hold bars era, even, the early 2000s. A lot of guys this day and age are learning from technology, really, because CTE is a really big deal now. There was just a 21 or I think 17 or 18-year-old kid, a very young kid who was on the football team, I believe committed suicide very recently. Joe Rogan just tweeted it out yesterday, and they found traces of CTE in his brain.
Yeah.
It's just so sad. And then you got people like Anthony Hernandez, who the CTE. I mean, what do you think? Do you think football is just as dangerous as martial arts? Or what do you think is the most dangerous sport when it comes to?
I think they got more awareness now of football. I mean, there's still, if you look, the coaches are like in their 60s and 70s, or they're taught, or the younger coaches are taught by the older coaches that, don't drink any water. They got to sweat. They got to know what it feels like. Do you ever watch a professional football game? Whenever they stop, the guys run and drink more Gatorade than we've ever seen before in your life. So they contradict each other, and as kids, they shouldn't be tackling each other so hard. Teach them what to do first. They're not even getting paid. It's, because everybody's looking for the superstar. There's 2 boxing gyms where I live, and I live in Reseda, California, that opened up. One is co-owned by James Toney, who I'm friends with.
Oh, yeah.
Like Tony. And one is a gym of guys that train Floyd Mayweather. And I went there and said, I'd like to train. They go, we know who you are, but, they don't really, we don't want to teach classes. They're looking for the next Floyd Mayweather. They're looking for the next James Toney. They're looking for the next Sugar Ray Leonard, so they can get rich. Well, you know what? Play lottery tickets. You have a better chance.
And isn't that, it's such a shame, honestly. I mean, you really make a good point. And I understand, like, when I was just saying that some of these fighters are learning that, you can't be sparring as hard. I don't know if that reflects in their recent careers or if it's just because they're older, but I feel like with the new era coming about, we'll definitely learn a whole new saga about, how to train correctly and whatnot. But, I want to talk a little bit about the differences between training, for kickboxing and WWE or WCW, because I feel like a lot of those guys or girls don't get the credit they deserve because they are somewhat athletes. Even though there's a written script or whatever, you guys are putting your bodies on the line.
Well, I'll put this on record. Being a professional wrestler is tougher than being a fighter.
Ooh.
And I'll tell you why. Because it is scripted. My job as a professional wrestler is not to hurt you. You're my opponent for that night. My job is to make you look good. Your job is to make me look good. My job is to protect you. Your job is to protect me. And we have to get the audience look like we're killing each other. In fighting, I go out there and just try to kill the guy. I have 5 first-round knockouts, and people were mad because the fight didn't go 12 rounds.
Well, it's not too bad.
And I made a comment that, hey, I don't get paid by the hour.
It's true, though. It's so true. And, nowadays, people want to see those knockouts in the first round. People don't want to see. And that doesn't even make sense why people would complain about that. It just doesn't make sense.
Right. And in pro wrestling, you got to learn to work together. If you really, really watch wrestling, all the wrestlers almost do all the same moves except for the finishers. If you really are kind of sort of the thing, if you're watching it, it should be boring because, wait a minute, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, except unless there's pay-per-views, are house shows. And the 2 wrestlers that are going to be on Raw or SmackDown are working those 3 days so they can be ready for Raw and SmackDown. Wait a minute, they're wrestling these 3 house shows that aren't taped for us to see, but they're practicing almost for 3 days of how to do the match. And let me tell you something, when you're doing a 10 to 15-minute match, you can't remember the match. But, you'll talk to each other. I've wrestled, and I remember wrestling with one guy once, and I was like, I'm totally lost. I have no idea where we are. But also people don't realize in WCW, or especially now in WWE, the referee's mic'd. He's light to the back. And whenever you see a guy, you watch wrestling, when the guy goes down and the referee bends down and says, "You're all right," basically he's telling him, you know, what to do next and how much time they have left.
Interesting. Really interesting.
You know,
what we're seeing.
You know, people don't want to know that because they want to be disbelieved. Wrestling is magic. I was a bodyguard, and I bodyguarded guys. There were a couple magicians. I bodyguarded Chris Angel for a little bit. Strangest guy I've ever met. And there was another guy who's a public speaker, but he was a magician, Joe Bauer. And people love magic, but if they find out how to do it, it kills the whole thing because it's so easy, and it's just, you know, it makes people. The reason why they don't want to tell people how the magic trick is done because they'll make the people feel stupid.
Well, you know what? Transition really quick. Your son was the chief photographer for the UFC during Ronda Rousey's era. Ronda Rousey is now in the WWE. Have you checked her performances out? And how do you think she's doing?
Yeah, I watched her. She, you know, she's good. One thing that she's got an advantage of other MMA guys going into wrestling is she's got a judo background. So she knows how to throw people. I thought it was really good, like when she attacked, who was it, Alexa Bliss? And she did a Seonagi shoulder throw on Kurt Angle. And it was really good. You know, but he knew it was coming, and he helped her with it. But it made it look really good. Now, the problem is, are they going to push her too fast because she's a rookie? And are the veterans going to take advantage of that? You know, okay, let's stiff her a little bit to show her this is not MMA, which I think would be a stupid idea because when I was with Ohio Valley Wrestling, sometimes I would wrestle some of the students and be on a show to protect them. And I said to some of the wrestlers that would go, "Dan, you do it too easy on him." I said, "Listen, if I ever wrestle you guys, because you guys got contracts, and you guys ever stiff me, you got to see the world champion kickboxer come out. I'll knock you out right then and there, and I don't care. Vince can fire me."
You know what, You think that
Yeah, go ahead.
I just don't see the WWE trying to do that with Ronda. I feel like when Ronda got into it, she was like, you know what? You guys cannot make me look like a fool because she's, you know, trying to make a bounce back. Do you think that, you know, she's going to stick with the WWE? Do you think this is going to be a full-time thing for her?
Yes, I do. I really think she's, I have a friend who does all the promo work for NXT. And he told me she works like a crazy person. She loves it. You got to have a passion for it. That's the number one thing they look for. Oh, you know, your mother's sick, tough shit, wrestle. Oh, your house got robbed, tough shit, wrestle. Oh, your parents got killed in a plane crash, tough shit, wrestle. That's Vince's almost attitude, and she has that attitude. She likes the spotlight, which is good. She can talk because she has some interview things. Yes, is she green? Yeah. Could she have? But the girls know that if they piss her off, she could really hurt them.
That's true.
So they're not going to do something stupid to her.
You know what?
If they do something stupid to her, she'll kill them.
Yeah. Snap her arm like she did with Misha Tate. But you know what?
Nia Jax was scared to death. She really would have snapped my arm when she put me in the armbar. And Ronda Rousey was like, no, unless you do something stupid.
You know, that kind of
she kind of put the threat on her.
It kind of transitions into what's happened at G.L.O.W before in the past. There's been girls that have snapped their arms pretty violently, and you actually are married to Roxy Astors, in case people aren't familiar.
Well, we're not married. We've been living together for 5 years. We decided it's better not to be married than to be married. Well, like we're married. We're together every day.
So
we've been together now 5 years.
Wow. So your son is, you know, or used to be the chief photographer during the Ronda Rousey era. What was that like for him? Did he share, like, you know, what were you thinking during Ronda Rousey?
You know, most of the UFC guys are really good to photograph. Some were rough. Some didn't like the publicity. You know, they just wanted to fight. And they give, you know, the photographers a hard time. And he didn't like living in Vegas and all that, so now he's the chief photographer for the San Jose, whatever they are,
Sharks.
hockey team.
Yeah, the Sharks.
I don't follow hockey. The Sharks, yeah. He got a job from them as the chief photographer, and then Dana White offered him the same amount of money they were going to give him. He goes, it's not about the money. I don't want to live in Vegas anymore, and I want to get out of the fight thing and do other things. It's a funny thing. My son, when he went to get a job as a photographer, because he's been around fighting all his life since he's like been in diapers, so he knows he's great at taking action shots because he's seen it all. So he showed the people that were hiring the resume, and Dana White was walking by. My son told me this, and he was like, "Oh, so have you fought before?" He goes, "Yeah, I've had one or two fights, but I like doing the photography." And Dana White went, there was a guy that was a kickboxer that came back after some surgery, and everybody thinks he's psychotic. You have his last name. Do you know him? And my son goes, yeah, it's my dad. And he goes, oh, cool, you're hired.
That's great.
And I went, wait a minute. I paid 4 years of college to you to be a photographer.
Off my credit?
and now you just said my name. He goes, yeah, I didn't use the name. You did it. I went, I'm only kidding.
That's great.
But that's the breaks that come in this world. You could have all the credentials and everything in the world, and, it's just the right place, the right time. When Roxy went to G.L.O.W, she was in season 3 and 4. She saw a commercial for Want to Be a G.L.O.W Girl. And she decided she wanted to be a G.L.O.W girl, so she took herself from Seattle and drove to Vegas and tried out. She said there were like over 100, there were 150 girls there. But she wanted to be in G.L.O.W, and they picked her. She ratted out her hair to look that thing, and then Matt Zimmer wanted it to be red, so she would spray paint her red every night. They put the color in, but she was really a blonde.
The G.L.O.W girls, man, before we end the interview, that's definitely something I want to end with here. And shout out to the chat room. Everyone's complimenting, saying that this is a great interview. They're saying, despite not being a pro wrestling guy, this is a quality interview. So everyone's giving compliments here. But you know what? A good transition here with Roxy being your girlfriend of 5 years or whatnot. G.L.O.W coming back, making this big return with Netflix and the G.L.O.W documentary. What have you seen personally? Is there a new spark with Roxy, new excitement?
I think what it is all the old fans that were kids that are now adults go crazy when they see the original G.L.O.W girls. It's just almost like what Netflix is doing with some other things of they're bringing back old shows, and using the old actors that were in it because people want to know what happened to them. And Roxy has the Afterglow, which is basically people want to know what happened to the original girls. They're watching the Netflix girls, and the Netflix girls love the original G.L.O.W girls. But the Netflix girls aren't wrestlers; they're actresses. If they get a different part or a thing in a movie, they'll be out of that show faster than anything. The only real wrestler in G.L.O.W is Kia Stevens. Awesome Kong. None of the other girls are wrestlers. They got Chavo Guerrero Jr. now training them. But when you do it in film, you don't have to do the whole match. You just got to do it in different parts, and then they'll splice it together. So
are you going to be there watching the season 2 premiere with all the G.L.O.W girls?
Yeah, I run a nightclub, and I told them I'm not showing up that night. This is too important for her. I swear to God, we might have 90 people here.
That's
Thank
awesome.
God I have the whole 4th floor.
You might have 92 people there if the 2 vacants come back.
We could. There are people calling. She invited all these people. Now they're inviting people and all that. The only bad thing that's going on is, I don't know if you watched Raw or SmackDown last week.
No, I don't. But our listeners do.
Naomi is doing like a glow gimmick. She has this thing, Feel the Glow.
Naomi Watts?
She was in the back, Feel the Glow, because her hair glows in the dark. they didn't really use it as a Glow thing, but they brought the Netflix Glow girls on SmackDown just to meet Naomi.
You know, I even saw.
And yeah, I thought, you know what would have been better? They would have had the Netflix girl there, and then all of a sudden the original Glow girls go there and go, you know something? You're not Glow. You're just an afterglow.
Oh my God, you nailed that. They need to do that. Why haven't they done that?
Yeah, that's because, well, you know, Roxy's working on it now. You know,
that would be so perfect.
Yeah, and you know, she's been working for 5 years. She's done cruises. The unbelievable amount of fans. It's crazy, the fan base for the original Glow girls. I mean, I don't think there's a fan base as big in WCW that went out of business. I mean, people go, oh, wait a minute, you look familiar. Yeah, I was Roxy Astor. Oh, I watched you at 11 o'clock at night on Channel 9 or Channel 13 when I was 10 years old. You know, and I loved you guys. You had the green outfit. I mean, they know all about her. They can even tell her about her matches. And she goes, I don't even remember that.
You know what? This is bothering me now. Now that it's settling on my head, like I can literally picture the entire thing playing out, like exactly what you just said. Like Roxy climbs out from or walks out of the back, and it's like, you guys are the fake Glow girls. Like it's just like a perfect one night thing for them to do to promote, Glow and the original Glow girls, who deserve more credit than they're getting from.
Well, I can tell you
Netflix.
One of the problems are the Glow girls are scattered. The original Glow girls are scattered, and the Netflix Glow girls have an agent, from Netflix. So they, WWE called the agent and said, "Can we get the Netflix girls to come to the show that was in Sacramento?" So they brought the Netflix girls. They can't do that with the original Glow girls because they don't have an agent, and you have to go look for them all. And now Roxy usually gets them all together, and so they were at the last Raw that was in California. This was about 6 months ago, and the Netflix Glow girls met the original Glow girls for the first time backstage, and they went crazy over them. Allison Brie was almost crying. Like, she goes, "Oh my God, you guys are like royalty to us." And then some of the WWE divas came over. Nia Jax said, "I need to get a picture with the original Glow girls." And the only thing I think that's holding them, back is they want to know who the original Glow girls are. But all the original Glow girls are in their 50s. They're not going to look like they did when they were in their 20s when they were doing Glow.
Well, you know what? They're still doing their thing now. I'm even hearing that Roxy was just telling me that Matilda's going to be singing Raw Meat tonight.
Oh, yeah, she is. She's excited. And that woman has more heart than I do. I mean, she's got so many injuries and all that, but when she'll still perform, and she'll act like nothing's wrong with her. And that, she's done some great things. I mean, she's done roller derby, she's done wrestling, she was on Aerosmith's Love in an Elevator holding the midget.
Well, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, when the elevator opens and there's this huge woman holding the little midget. That's Matilda Hut.
That's so funny. I'm going to have to go back and look at that now. That's great.
Yeah, just go back and look at Love in an Elevator.
I can picture the commercial, too. I can picture the music video because my dad's all about Aerosmith. So I'm going to have to go back and look at that. That's great.
Yeah, and Matilda was holding a midget guy.
That's so funny.
And just like hugging him and just jumping up and down. It's pretty funny.
Dan, before we let you go here, obviously we were just talking about, your son, and I would like to get him on next. What is he currently up to? I know they're saying the San Jose Sharks, but, is he going to be coming back around home for the Netflix special? Or
No, because he lives in San Jose.
Okay.
And he's now engaged to be married. Basically he's 29. I talked to him. He worries about me more than I worry about him. He's got his life together really good. I don't know if Roxy told you I had another heart surgery about 2 months ago.
Ooh.
My heart infection went down so low that I passed out at my nightclub, and they had to do emergency heart surgery on me. And then I was fine after it. My son flew in to see me, and all that. But when I told him, listen, when you're working for UFC, this is your thing. It's not my thing. You didn't get the job because of me. Just because Dana White knew who I was, didn't mean you got it on your talent.
Yeah.
And he took some great pictures and that, and he had a great time. He loves taking pictures, but better opportunities come.
A lot of it is also.
The only thing he told me is never move to Vegas.
Yeah, one of my childhood friends actually from the cul-de-sac moved to Vegas and works for the UFC doing Fight Pass. But I can understand how he feels about that. But there also is, being at the right place at the right time, running into Dana White the time that he did, which is perfect. And that's how things work out for a lot of people. It's just being in the right place at the right time, or you could be at the wrong place at the wrong time, which always sucks. But before we let you go, man,
I've been in both.
I think it's so cool that you guys are all in the same scene pretty much when it comes to, entertainment. At least, your son's over there. Roxy's doing her thing. You got your gyms and the nightclub and everything that's going on. I think it's so cool that you guys are like all in a scene. You got Netflix doing the Glow thing for season 2. It's exciting times right now, and I hope that things work out.
Oh, yeah.
For the entire family.
I think it will because, the Netflix show is bringing in the millennials who have no idea what the real Glow, and then the older Glow people. The only thing that I feel is that Netflix should honor the originals more. I don't know if you saw the first season when they had they gave a little cameo to Brooke Hogan. She was a secretary at an abortion clinic. They could have gave that part to Matilda the Hun.
Yeah.
And people would have went, that's Matilda the Hun. The original Go-Girls. They could have been a lot nicer to the originals.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they weren't.
And that's
Hollywood.
Yeah, that's something that I brought up to the girls that have come on the show so far. I feel like a lot of people want to see the original Glow Girls on the Netflix. Maybe season 3. We'll find out as time comes. But if there's one thing that could happen, I would like to see what you were talking about with the WWE and the original Glow Girls calling out the Netflix Glow Girls, even if it's just a 90-second thing. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
And I think a lot of the Glow Girls would feel a little better because I can definitely tell some of them feel some type of way right now.
Yeah. Plus, like I said, I have connections in WWE. Roxy has a daughter who knows how to wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
She wrestled at Juby Hall, and she's done some wrestling. And I got her a tryout with WWE, and they liked her, but they didn't pick her because they wanted her really basically to get a little bit more experience. But they could work that thing in there. Okay, here's a real Afterglow girl. It would be a great feud between her and Naomi. The girl that's stealing the glow against the second generation original Glow Girl.
I would love that. And we got the chat room checking in saying it's obviously the younger generation here. Damn, I'm going to Google Glow right now. Owen Young. Yeah, man, you should do that. You can actually watch all the original Glow matches. Make sure you also Google Dan Magnus as well. Dan, what do you have on the internet that people can see? Can they see your comeback fight after open heart surgery? Or?
My comeback fight is, because ESPN owned it, I have a thing on my Facebook page. It's Dan Magnus, Magnus. If they go to Dan Magnus, they'll see, my picture. I'm in bodyguard mode. I have my comeback fight on there in bits and pieces. The problem was that in the 80s, ESPN owned all the fights, and it was hard to get the fights from them.
Yeah, it still is.
Because it's classic. So most of the fights you see from the fighters that are in the 80s were from people who filmed it on their own little home film thing. And they won't really let us use it. It's not like today people can take their phone and get a better quality picture than a motion picture.
It's true. It's true, except when you want to take a picture of the moon and it does not look anything like it looks in real life. But at the same time, it's coming along. It's coming along. Dan, I want to thank you so much for joining me today on Pure Evil MMA. Before we let you go, where can people find you on social media outside of Facebook?
Really, right now, because of all the things I haven't had in touch. I used to have a website, danmagnus.com, and the Magnus method, but they're down right now because I was sick and I couldn't keep them going, so I have to restart all those. But if they really want to see where I am, they can Google my name, and if they go to videos, they have some of my videos up on there. And I'm going to go on Facebook right now and share the comeback fight, so if anybody wants to see it today, they can. When they go on my page, it'll be right there. I have to scroll down a little bit.
If you want to tag, because I'm not on Facebook right now, I'm actually supposed to. My boss told me to make a Facebook page this week because I got kicked off of there for sharing something stupid. I shared a fight clip, and the UFC wasn't all about that, and it happened 3 times. So they're like, enough with this kid. So I lost a couple thousand followers on there. So I kept my distance for a little while, but I guess it's time to get back on the old FB.
I took it as different snippets of my fights, and if you want, you can share it. I'll put it up in a few seconds. I am really, thank God for Roxy, because I am computer illiterate. I'm old school. A phone is made to talk, not to type.
Well,
I don't like my phone being a typewriter.
Tell Roxy when she shares it, or when you share it, to use hashtag Pure Evil MMA, so all of our listeners or people checking this interview out can easily just go to the hashtag and find the video that you shared and find your profile and give you a follow as well.
Okay, that'd be good.
Dan, thank you so much. Last but not least, if you have any sponsors or anything at all, the floor is all yours.
Basically now I'm working on, because I've had my second heart surgery, there's a guy who created a stretching machine called ProStrength who's sending me a thing, because I used to train him, so he wants to use me as a sponsor to show, at 62 I can still be flexible. And I'm in negotiations with Total Gym to try to get back in shape, but they're a tough crowd to get. So we'll see what happens with them.
Well, we wish you best of skill. I don't think anyone at this point in your life should be doubting you after proving everything that you've proved. Dan, thank you so much. Have a blessed day, and tell Roxy that thank you very much for connecting me to you to do this interview.
Well, thank you very much for asking me.
God bless.
You take care.
All right, guys, there you go. Dan Magnus from the WWE, 2-time former kickboxing champion, joining us here in Pure Evil MMA. Boyfriend to Roxy Astors of G.L.O.W. And I've been enjoying a lot of these G.L.O.W girls coming on. This is branching out now. Now I'm starting to meet people in the WWE. This is actually the first time I've interviewed somebody that's been a part of the WWE since I was 7 years old. Isn't that crazy? So it's been 22 years. You guys might think I'm old as fuck, but 22 years since I interviewed my last WWE fighter. When I was 7 years old, I sound like a broken record. The first interview I ever did was with a WWE wrestler on KC 101, live on air here in Connecticut with Stone Cold Steve Austin 316. So here, coming full circle. 29 years old, 7 years, 22 years in between. I'm doing the same thing. If you told me then I'd be doing it now, I'd be doing backflips. I would be telling my mom I'll eat chocolate all night. I don't care. I'm living the life. I'm so happy right now with everything that I've got going on here at Pure Evil MMA. You guys have been such an awesome support. It means the world to me. If you guys want to support me, you can always buy some Pure Evil MMA merch at teespring.com. I'll drop that link down below. We all got mugs. We got tees. We got totes. We got sweatshirts. We got it all. So guys, I want you guys to have a good Friday. I am off. Go get some appetizers. Edit this interview. It's going to be dropping on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, and always at mymmanews.com. Last but not least, if you did not check the last episode, episode number 122, there was a big announcement on that episode. I am now on Spotify. How about that? I'm on Spotify, motherfuckers. If you are and I've had so many people. No, I get a couple thousand downloads a month. And I get so many people asking, why are you not on Spotify? I only have Android. I don't have iTunes. I don't feel like downloading Podbean or whatever. Everyone has Spotify. You can go listen to the new Drake album right now on Spotify. And then you can switch over and listen to Pure Evil MMA. It's as simple as that. So guys, make sure you follow me on Twitter at evil_echo. That's EVIL_ECCO. Also at Pure Evil MMA on Instagram. I'm Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA, MyMMAnews.com. White Knuckles till the end.